he is muggy. I was like, every time they kept showing, I said, this man is muggy. I was like, hide your values, hide everything. He is muggy. The Gates, overall, the movie was pretty good. Of course, you know, stuff happened in the movie. You like, okay, they just doing this for the movie. I don't know if it's just the most realistic or makes the most sense, but you like get it from the movie. Like, for example, one of their phones was dead. And he kept trying to be like, oh, can I charge it? Can I charge it? And they kept pretty much ignoring him. And then Keith Powers' character, Ty, he left his phone. His phone was charging in the car. And then Algee character, Kevin, when he was trying to call when they was in somebody's backyard, he was trying to call them. They thought it was a gun. And they little boy and dad was about to shoot him. Then he dropped his phone. So, you know, they had to find a way. They said, oh, nobody had a phone. And then when the Malibu Most Wanted dudes, B-Rad him, thought because he was black, he was a rapper and he's from the hood. They wanted him to get in the booth and he was okay, if I get in the booth, would you give me a phone or whatever to use. And then when he finally got the phone, this is towards the end, he finally got the phone. He was like, I don't know nobody number by heart. But it's also like, I know people, you don't be thinking about this at the time, but he could have tried to sign in for one of his accounts and then hit his friends up that way. He could have tried to sign in from Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and then message one of his friends from there and then tell him the information. So, you know, it's just like, I get it, like, because it's a movie and you want it to make sense. I never really was bored throughout the whole thing. I thought it flowed pretty well, and for it only to be centered around like one location, you know, one like neighborhood, it was like enough movement. Like I said, it never got like I'm never like, okay, y'all need to wrap this up. Like it was actually pretty good. I never remember characters' names. So the thing I even remember all their character name, and then the guy that was like supposed to be like the one who was just like accepting of cops and didn't thought everybody was good and thought, ooh, you just do this and nothing won't happen. You just do this and everything will be fine. Like he was the one that just didn't get it. Like what it's like, which I don't know how he went all the time like that and then not getting it. Like even when he tried to talk to the white people, he's like, oh, they just have their iPods and they look directly at you. And if somebody talking to you and getting out their car, you can just take your iPods and be like, huh? It wasn't like they just running. It'd be different if they was running and just ignored them. But they started running after they saw you. So it's like, and he's like, oh yeah, maybe they just, I'm like, he was the one that was like, not jaded, maybe jaded, but in the opposite way. You know what I'm saying? I was saying that to say his name was Derek. All of their characters, I thought, this is what I was missing in a lot of movies, even shows. With shows, you would think they'd do a better job at it because it's longer. Movies are shorter, so they got less time to do it. But in movies, this was missing with Tyler Perry stuff too, because any of his characters at any moment will do anything. Like he don't write out, okay, this character, this who they are. This, you never know who each character is because they would do anything at any time. Sometimes they good, sometimes they bad. They would go to the stream and go back down. They would go around. He'll write a faithful man, faithful man, faithful man. Then all of a sudden he cheat on his wife. He's like, huh? But you wrote him as faithful. But then all of a sudden he cheating on his wife and being abusive. Like, but that wasn't who he was. Like you just create complete 360, 180, whatever. All of their characters I thought was pretty fleshed out, and the fact they did in that short amount of time, like I knew who every character was. And then even at the end, like Algee, he was like the Keith Powers character was like, Ty was like, oh, you just think about yourself, because the whole time he was just trying to worry about getting the car back to the lot so he wouldn't get fired, because he took the car off the lot. Like he didn't care about nothing else but get that car back to the lot so he didn't get fired. And when he ran over the dude at the end, that was like him saying, okay, well. And he even said, well, I thought I'd look out for y'all for a change, because he ran over the dude, which is pretty much you messing up the car because you're running over somebody. So the car is damaged. Like maybe you can clean it a little up, because towards the end when the bad guy in and shot the preacher, I'm just going to say the pastor. When the pastor shot, tried to shoot him, then the cop shot him. He shot a hole in the tail light. Bro, the front tail light. The front light, yeah, because tell me that, but the front light, here's how at least you can get the car back to the shop for open. What time it open? That's what Derek said. And he was like, and he looked over, it did, and he seen a bullet. And he was like, basically, we gonna sue them, and you ain't gonna have to work no more. We gonna sue the Gates, the whole neighborhood, we gonna sue them. Damn, what happened to the black lady? Because she was helping him. I think she was trying to, like, sleep with him, because she was being weird. She gave him a shirt. What was the point? She gave him a shirt and was buttoning up. I think she's trying to sleep with him, and then like somebody that nuts, she can get arrested too. They always say if you enter find a black woman, that's true. So I'm like, but she was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna mess up the good thing I got going here, so I don't really care. But she called for him, and then if the police never said, "Are you in danger?" or "He's a suspect." Why did they say that? Like, I didn't think that would be the next thing to say. Well, maybe that it is. And she was like, yes. But what they didn't say that did, well, I guess they would have did anyway, because they was looking for them anyway. In what world, if somebody tell you take it to the station, the cop do, and you take them to the person's house, they'll be like, oh, if you talk up, you want to press charges. If I'm telling you this to do, but you take me to his house, you just take me to a police station. You doing too much. Pastor, soon as he saw that they saw him push the lady and his mistress, it wasn't his wife, and hit him inside the head, they thought it was his wife the whole time. And it's funny because she was the one that let them in the gates. Well, I think that was supposed to be her. I'm pretty sure she the one let them in because she was the one in the red car. Because they were like, oh, I think that's why they went to that house, where they seen her car there. They was like, okay, well, she let us in, so she'll help us. So when he did that, he saw that they did that and they ran off. He should have like tried to break his window or mess up the lights or a window to be like, they broke it and they did this to her. But he didn't do that. I just thought about it. He didn't do that because he wasn't supposed to be with her because she was a mistress. He was supposed to be with her. But he could have been like, yeah, because the other dude, the older man that gave Algee them a drink and stuff, and he was like, oh, that's the lady. If that was her car, if she went to that church, wouldn't he know that's her car? Because that was like a pretty distinct car. So even his car was pretty distinct. Like, too, the pastor car, that's how Algee at the end saw, he was driving past it and saw that his car was already, he assumed that he was there. Because his car is so distinctive. It wasn't like just a random car. Like, I would even notice, and I'm not even cars like that. I would have noticed a red car, and I would have noticed a white car, because they is like distinctive cars. So yeah, you would think he would have knew that was her car. The dude would have knew that was her car. Because he said she went to church. I'm pretty sure he made a reference that, oh, so I saw from the church. Maybe that was at the end that he made a reference when he followed them. Well, followed the pastor. But Algee is muggy. He is muggy. I was like, every time they kept showing, I said, this man is muggy. I was like, hide your values. Hide everything. He is muggy. I was like, that. I was just like, what the heck is going on? Then too, the girls they were supposed to meet, did they live in the neighborhood or no? I'm guessing that they did it and they just, the GPS said that the location and it wasn't. Because they made it seem like, oh, we're here. But it was just like, did the GPS fail? Did it take some from it? Did it tell you that was it and it wasn't it? I'm guessing it wasn't the neighborhood. And what did the pastor do with Keith's phone? Ty's phone. What he do with his phone? Because he took the phone off the charger. Then they would have left but they did end up leaving. But then the cop followed them. But they would have left before the cop was out there, so they would have got away. But yeah, I don't know why well, maybe it was close enough because they got there pretty quick. Because I was about to say, why they didn't tell the girl that she wanted to be in the studio, she wanted to be a singer, so she was pretty much, that's why she was in that crowd. That's why she was so cool. She wasn't really from that neighborhood or like rich like them, but she just wanted the opportunity, and then he acted like he was gonna give her opportunity, but then we're trying to get her drunk and pretty much take advantage of her right then. Keith Powers' character, he wasn't having that. Like, he was like, when they said, oh, you got students, I said, oh, and they trying to do something to her, when the man said, oh yeah, when the boy said, yeah, come, I like Algee in there with the Malibu's Most Wanted, so it ain't no way that she about to be in there. So I'm like, they trying to do something that's too. And then when Keith figured out, when he talked to Algee, he was like, where the girl at? And he was like, I don't know. And then he went to all the rooms and found her. Although it's not like they could have made him a little more dramatic, because he wasn't forcing himself on her when Keith walked in, and he was just like trying to coerce her. So I feel like they could have made that a little more, but maybe they didn't want to, because maybe they ain't trying to be too traumatizing. And then his neighborhood was good too. It wasn't as good as the other one, but it was good too. Like, they had police patrolling in the neighborhood and all that. So it was pretty good too. So, but then I'm like, I was confused about the timeline about them. I know they mentioned it here now, but I was confused about the actual timeline of it all, about how they all really made the school part of it and stuff. Because he was wealthy, and I'm assuming they were not. Was he not wealthy first? Didn't go wealthy? Because then it was his mother. I guess his mother was sick. They was taking his mother. His mother was a sister. He was going to school to be a lawyer. So he was in college. The sister had already finished college, so she was a little older than him, a few years older, because she was already a nurse. This is what I'm assuming. And then, because, you know, Keith Powers' character, Ty, was like, oh, that's my wife, that's my wife. And in fact, like, he didn't care. And he never was like, you ain't dating my sister. He was just, I mean, he tried to tell him about himself a bench, because he was like, you keep trying to chase women, and that's why you in these situations. That's why your knee hurt. That's why we in a situation now, because you're trying to chase another girl. Like, you keep trying to chase women, and then you think you deserve my sister. He said it then, but Keith said that he met Derek in 7th grade, and nobody else was trying to talk to him, but then Derek talked to him, and then Algee was like, Kevin was like, yeah, are you sure? Because he wasn't trying to, he's just so smart, he's trying to analyze you. Basically, autistic, he don't know. He's trying to analyze you and see what's going on. And then he was like, JC, I didn't know what that meant. I don't know. I know it didn't mean junior college, because if he had a scholarship, he wouldn't have went to junior college. He wouldn't have went straight to college, you would assume, right? So, I don't know what, then Algee was like, Kevin character was like, oh, I never liked you in high school. But I don't know if that means they went to the same high school, or do he just mean like high school days, high school era? Because, you know, Keith, I just have a hard time believing like Keith, he must have just hung out with them individually, because how did they never, like, I get they didn't like each other, and that was like, no, they didn't like each other, but how did they just never, they never was around, you never invited to the same party, maybe you did, maybe they just didn't talk, you never was like, let's all go somewhere like you did this time. And I get he did this time, but I'm guessing they was like, you know, they was home from break from college. You know, Algee stayed there because he worked at the park lot, I'm assuming. So Keith was like, okay, I'm going to hang with him. I'm home, like, well, I'm a little injured, so I'm home. And then it's break, and then my other friend home too. But I just don't understand, did they all go to high school together? No, but you would think they wouldn't go to the same high school because they were from different places. But how are they from different places when he said he went to 7th grade with him? Usually, whoever you go to 7th grade with, so you go to high school will let you move. So I don't know. I didn't know really the timeline. Like, did y'all gonna go to high school together or not? I was confused about that. I didn't understand, because like I said, if y'all painting this character be so like, oh, I don't know what's going on, then you wouldn't think they would have went to the same school. You wouldn't even think he would have went to a public school. So I didn't know the timeline on that. Like I said, overall, the movie's pretty good. I thought they did the characters pretty well. Was there slight stuff? Like, okay, I don't know, that's realistic, but it's okay because it's a movie. It wasn't like OD, like out of control, where you didn't understand it and it didn't make no sense. It's like, yes, sure, it could happen, but possibility is not the best. But yeah, I do get it. Like, even with the cops, the man, when the pastor panicked the girl, the mistress, in the trunk, Algee's trunk, Kevin's car that he took, the cop had called to say, hey, I need ambulance here. It's a 123. Then the pastor's like, what's a 123? Because she was still breathing, she's still alive. So like I said, he didn't even check to see if he alive. People panic so much, they don't even check to see if people alive. Then y'all covering it up, then y'all making it worse. Then y'all are actually unaliving the people because y'all not checking to see if the person is okay. I guess he didn't want her to be okay either, because she said pretty much, I guess she was telling him, like, they were arguing, like, I'm about to out you because you married and you the pastor. I'm about to say you cheating with me and this and that. He's like, couldn't have it, then he hit her. Or hit him, pushed her, hit her here, whatever. It's like, this up, and I love that made him a pastor, because just like people always want to be the leader pastor, like pastors can't do nothing, the cops can't do nothing, just because the job position that they're in. That's just hilarious to me. Keith Powers was telling my old dude in the house, like, I was thinking that was his daddy, he was going to help him. That's what I was thinking at first. But then he was like, oh no, that's my pastor. Like, at that time, we didn't know he was a pastor. And Keith was like, I'm a Christian too. And then he held his cross. That's just okay, sure. It didn't have his name on. I guess he had dropped it conveniently to it, the back of the dude's house, and then his dog found it. And he was like, why would he tell me his real? That's why he really got suspicious. He was like, why would he tell me his real name? And then he looked him up and he saw everything he said was true about his knee and all this other stuff. And he was like, okay, well, if he telling the truth about that, why would he be true about that? Oh, but I was talking about when the cop, he called for ambulance and everybody, he called from in there, but clearly they didn't wait for them to show up. So was they not showing up? Like, I didn't see no one cancel it. So what? You would think they would have came really quickly, because even the dudes, like, the cops come quick in this neighborhood. But yeah, it's like, did he call for help or no? Because I heard him say, hey, we need the ambulance, we need this, we need this. So no one ever came though. So that was confusing to me. I'm like, why is nobody coming? They didn't stay for nobody to come. And then they the one that took the woman to the hospital. Then he was like, okay, I'll call the cops and y'all can leave and get everything back. But how was you going to say the story? How was you going to leave them out of the story? Because how would you have gotten there? Like, I understand that too. Maybe they wasn't going to think. It was like, why they didn't go to the police station? Well, he was like, oh, I got to get back to my mom, I guess. I don't know if maybe the girl, maybe she said at the beginning about written this. Maybe she was saying, hey, I got to get back to work. So you got to be back at this time. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. Like I said, I wouldn't really listen at the beginning, so I don't know. He ended up getting shot in his knee anyway. Hopefully it was the injured knee. I think it was. I actually think, yeah, he shot him in the knee that was already injured. It'd be bad to have both knees bad. Yeah, I think he actually shot him in the knee that was actually already bad. Because he was limping on with the right. So I think he shot him in the right leg too. But yeah, that was weird to me. I'm like, okay, so did he call it or not? I don't know. It was weird. I saw him do it. So, but I'm like, I didn't see them say a cow flip beat or nothing. So it's like, did they show up and taking the cops? It was 3 people out. Oh no, the pastor. He had just ran him over. From that scene and them leaving, I was kind of confused because it's like, okay, he was ran over. Oh, he hadn't ran off. I forgot. He had ran off. He wasn't lying. Or he had ran off. Then they just let him run off. But then still the old man was there. And then the cop, because he had shot him. If I'm holding a gun on you and I know you crazy and what you capable of, I'm like, you need to throw your gun. He just lowered it. It was still in his hand. You need to throw it away. Throw it over. Throw it to him. And and they just all lowered their gun. Like, nah, we gonna stay here and wait. Like he said, we gonna stay here and wait. Cops is coming. So I don't know why they didn't stand there. They just left. So you left the crime scene. It was just, I don't know. Then you was going to call them anyway, but then you told all them to leave and you was going to handle it. Like, I didn't know how that was going to work, but cool. Like I said, cool is cool, whatever. You try to wrap up stuff, it's whatever. I ain't going to nitpick too much on it, but I was just confused by it. Like, okay. Then y'all took her to the hospital. And then the lady was like, I still got to call it in, but it kind of already been called in. So then too, when she woke up, you didn't think she was going to tell, like when she was coherent enough to tell the cops, like, oh yeah, this happened. They drove me here, like I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, that was not put together properly, but everything else I thought was pretty good. Like the movie was, the character so thought out. Like I wanted to see what happened next. I really did. And I'm not really like a big, like, ooh, need a two, but like the characters were so good. I wanted to actually just follow their life normally. Like I wanted to see their life. I wanted to see what Algee was doing. I wanted to see what Keith was doing. Like if he give it the girl, you can assume that he did. Like if he got back baby on the field, and the guy you can assume, but being the lawyer, then they sued the Gates and got the money. So Algee good because maybe he gonna end up going and do his music. He did assume all these things. Like they did like pretty good for a wrap up, just to assume all these things. Like the Algee, that record probably gonna hit that he did what he was singing on, and then he gonna have some. All of them gonna have money because of they gonna sue. Algee gonna do the music. Derek gonna want to be the lawyer, and then we can see. Oh my, now you have to make them older. But you can see them older, like 10 years later. That would be cool. But and then he gonna end up being with his sister, probably get married, having kids, and then had to do his football thing. Then at the end, when Derek was like, the cops wanted to talk to him, the detective wanted to talk to him, you can tell he learned his lessons from everything. Because he was like, okay, I'm going to just get my lawyer. Then the cop at the beginning that questioned Kevin, he only trusted him at the end because he had got the cosign from Derek when he stopped him originally.